Alright, hello and welcome back to the commentary series, and today we're going to be talking about The Wonderful World of Samphora. This coaster was created for the Thunder Nation Exploration Coaster Contest. If you're interested, the link will be in the description if you want to join. So today I have a slideshow of screenshots that I had taken throughout the creation of The Wonderful World of Samphora, so we can see how the ride evolved from just the coaster to the finished product. The Wonderful World of Samphora was a redo of the Magical World of Samphora, which I had a couple time-lapse videos on a long time ago, and that project ended up not finishing, and I decided to kind of like go back to that idea for this exploration coaster, and I think it turned out really cool. So let's get started. So here is just about the start of it. This was the first couple of days of work. I think I emptied out the map, I built up my coaster, and I put in some real rough terrain just to get an idea just to put down some of my ideas. Like, I wanted this giant mountain here, I wanted this cliff area with a waterfall and you dive into a cave. So I was just kind of marking some of that out with terrain. And I'd also built up the station, the tree, which was one of the first things I did. Okay, so here is after a few more days of work, and I mainly just did terraining. I filled it all in, I built some stuff up. This is still rough. I'll need to go in and smooth it later. But I started to build up the different areas and make it a little bit more structured. So here is a little bit later. You can see I've done some more terrain work. This area actually ended up getting completely rethemed way later in the ride timeline. It started out was going to be like this spooky wasteland area, but I later realized it just didn't fit with the theme, and it didn't match the rest of the ride that was, pretty and nice and everything, so I ripped it out and started again later on. Alright, so I have finished up most of the terrain work around the coaster now. The only area not done with terrain is this volcano area, and I need to cover up the cave. But other than that, most of the terrain is in place that's around the coaster. And I also started on the elf village here. I worked in this area just trying to figure out how I wanted it to look, and then I started going up the lift hill. Here you can see I didn't really do much in terms of terrain besides covering up the cave, but I also finished up the elf village all the way up. I also did a little bit of work here, and I believe I did a lot of work inside the cave, but we can't really see that. not yet. We'll see some of the work in progress pictures later. Alright, so now I'm pretty sure I'm completely done with the cave because this area is also completely finished. I had ideas for other things I wanted to add in this area, but this is as close as it had gotten to being finished before I ripped it out. Alright, as you can see, we had a big jump in terrain. I closed off this corner with some rough terrain, and I started adding some scenery into the volcano and also changed up the terrain paint there to make it a little bit darker. Alright, so I filled in this other corner as well and built up a mound to get an idea of what the volcano would kind of look like. Okay, so here we have a big jump. I finished off the shaping of the volcano, smoothed it out, put in the hole and stuff. Smoothed out this terrain over here and added trees and scenery and all that around here. Also built up the landing pad. Okay, so down here at the landing pad, you'll notice some more trees in the background and this sign that we'll get a closer look at later, but that changes later on. I also swapped out the wasteland area around this lake to be the same as the rest, as the elf village and on the other side of the lake, because I thought it looked a little bit nicer from the POV. And I also extended the cave out to here. I was thinking that the cave was just a little bit too short for my liking, so I made it longer, and it also ended up fitting with the music better because the music starts to change as soon as you leave out the cave. Alright, so you can see here that I have torn out that wasteland spooky area because it didn't really match the rest of the ride and it didn't match the music very well. Yeah, so the music kind of changes to this whimsical kind of flute thing here, and that didn't really match the spooky thing, and I thought it was looking kind of gross, so I ripped it out and started work on the fairy village. And here is the final shot of everything, of the completed ride. Since the last screenshot, I had done some slight tweaking of terrain and scenery, and I added lighting throughout the ride, just kind of making it feel finished. Okay, so now we are going to start with some comparison images, some like before and afters of work in progress and finished and stuff. So here is a early shot of the lift hill going up with the elf village, and I think it's a really cool shot to see all those bridges going by and stuff. And you have this staircase here. Originally I had it over the track, but it kind of just looks more like a ramp than it does a staircase because of the angle and everything. So I changed it up, moved it down, and it looks more like stairs now. And the lighting and everything just makes it look a lot more magical. So here is an early shot of the Rainbow Cave before it was Rainbow Cave. I was just calling it the cave. Yes, at this point I was thinking, okay, there's not a whole lot more I could really do. I was trying to figure out what color I wanted these hanging lights to be. Originally they were a similar blue to this, and I changed them to this reddish color until eventually it becomes rainbow, and then I added in the flowers to carry on that rainbow feel throughout, and I think it's a really nice and pretty area. So here were some of the colors that I had thought about using before someone in Discord just said to just do rainbow. I was like, oh yeah, that would be a great idea. So we went with the rainbow, and that made the cave a whole lot better. So here is that area where I was doing like the spooky wasteland area. As you can see, a lot of the scenery is really low to the ground, and that was my main thing against it. So then I changed it to the fairy village. Okay, so now we are in the park, in game, and we are just gonna kind of talk about how I did some of the things. Yeah, so you'll notice here the track changes colors. It does this throughout the ride, but right here I just wanted it to look more like just blend in with the tree a little bit better, so I changed it to brown and then made it green as it came down so it kind of stands out a little bit. And here is the elf village, and you'll notice that there's only a few different types of elves. Some are waving, some are not, and the only real difference is their shirt color, and I made a few of them and then just kind of copy and pasted them around. All the tree houses are the same, all the rope bridges, there's only 2 of them in this section. And I tried my best to make it so you could get to every treehouse. So you can climb up the steps here and then walk across the bridge over there and then around to there. Well, except for this one here. I guess I forgot to connect that one. Yeah, so to get the lighting here, you'll notice that it's day, and normally that means the lights won't turn on. But if you place them underground far enough, they'll turn on and will light up whatever's there. The flowers here, if you didn't know, were made out of signs, the lit signs, and I just kind of rotated them around and then shoved a tree stump on the bottom of them. And here are the berries. If you want to know how these were made, it's mostly art shapes, but the arm here is the Roman candle firework, and then the eyes are made out of sparklers, just barely poking out, and then I have a wall decoration there. The lava was done with a trick where I would place a layer of water and then colored panels, the lit ones, right underneath that layer of water, and I used the rough water, and it makes it kind of look like it's flowing and moving, which the in-game magma pieces don't do. I wanted that effect of it looking like it's active. I also noticed that there's lights going up these rocks here from the lava. And normally these panels don't actually give off light, even though they say lit, they just kind of glow without casting any light. So what I do is I placed these floodlights that came in one of the DLCs, and their light goes up as well, so it can cast a light on the rock without making it glare, because the area lights will make a glare on these panels, which I didn't like very much. And down here is where we wake up the lava serpent. There's the sequencer there. You could just play that. Yeah, so to make it look like he was opening his eyes, because I wanted to make it look like he was asleep and then he woke up and that he has like glowing eyes, I placed a light on the inside here, one of these event lights shining at an art shape for the eye, and I would fade that in and out on a trigger. To make them, I actually had made like a DIY kit thing for myself. I built up the head here, and then I just made one piece and then duplicated it over and over again. I hope you enjoyed this episode on the kind of like behind the scenes of the wonderful world of Symphola, and I will see you next time